Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Giggity, real name is Mark, and in today's video, we are continuing our series ranking every single gun in every single Call of Duty game from worst to best in chronological order. Last time we did it on Black Ops 4, so that means that today, we're ranking all 59 Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, or MW19, guns from worst to best. Really quickly, before we get into that, I want to say, I am really sorry for not uploading for 4 whole days. I will explain at the end if you care, but if you don't care, long story short, I got distracted. Long story short, but I'll explain at the end if you care about any of that stuff. For those who don't know or are new to this channel or whatever, we are just ranking these based on personal preference. I am not a professional or anything like that. Obviously, yes, the weapons that are better I do tend to like those better because I like using good weapons, so they do tend to be towards the top of my list. However, it is just my personal preference on which ones I like using. We are also not ranking any of the grenades or melees or any guns that are just like only available in the campaign, any guns that are like kill streak holdable weapons, just primary and secondary guns in this game. Okay, that's all we're ranking. And also the final, I guess, little disclaimer, I guess I wanted to say before we get into it, is we're not ranking this based on Warzone at all either, just multiplayer, because I only really played multiplayer. I'm not a Warzone guy. I tried it like once back in 2019 when it came out. I didn't like it that much, man. I've tried it a couple times more since then, but it's never been my style, man. I've always just liked multiplayer, and so we're ranking them on how good they were in multiplayer. So if any Warzone guys are watching this and are gonna be like, no, you're an idiot, sorry, man, I don't know enough about Warzone to give my opinion on that. And then we're splitting it up into 6 tiers: the awful tier, bad tier, average tier, good tier, amazing tier, and the best tier. Song of the day is called She Will by Lil Wayne. It's a classic, man. It's a freaking banger. Same album with 6 foot, 7 foot, also a banger. That might be the song of the day next time, to be honest. But yeah, it's an absolute banger. If you don't like rap music, don't listen to it. But if you like rap music, give this bad boy a try. But yeah, we're almost closing up on this series, guys. We only have like a couple more games left to do. We have Black Ops Cold War, Vanguard, MW2, MW3, and Black Ops 6. And then we're done. This series is coming to an end, and coming to an end fast. And also, another little fun fact, still, and I don't think anybody's going to beat it, but I'll keep updating you guys. Still, the Call of Duty game with the most guns in it is World War II with 75. I don't think anyone's going to beat that. I think that's going to be the COD game with the most amount of guns in it. But yeah, just wanted to keep you guys updated on that. Anyways, without further ado, let's get right into it with number 59, my least favorite gun in all of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. And that, my friends, is the Strela P. I don't even want to think about the Strela P. Let me explain something to you guys real quick. Usually the riot shield is dead last for all these videos, because the riot shield is obviously one of the worst weapons to use in almost every Call of Duty. And I know riot shields are technically melees, but they're also in their own little category, so I always include them in these videos anyways. But either way, that's not the case for today. The Strela P is getting behind the riot shield, because I tried getting gold for the Strela P by shooting down UAVs and stuff, and it was the most painful experience in my entire life. It was horrible, dude. I would rather work at an offshore oil rig than have to deal with that again. The Strela P is miserable. It's the worst gun in COD history. I hate this thing so much. Coming in at 58th place, though, is the riot shield. Yeah, it's not much better, but it's better. It's better by... There should be just a whole separate tier to Strela P. The Strela P tier, which isn't even F. It's Z tier. It's that bad. I hate the Strela P that much. Either way, the riot shield is the riot shield. I mean, it's the same as every other riot shield that's ever been before. It's fine. I mean, people are going to use it for like memes and for trolling and stuff like that. You're probably going to use it to try and get Damascus on it and want to rip your own eyeballs out with a cream soda can. It's going to be horrendous to use a riot shield, and that's why it's here at the number 58 spot. But it serves its purpose, and I'm not mad that riot shields exist in COD games. Coming in at 57th place, however, is going to be going to the Joker, or the Javelin is what it really is. I don't know why they changed it to the Joker. I'm assuming it's probably licensing reasons, like they probably got sued or something by the company that made the Javelin or whatever. But either way, it's called the Joker in this game, and yeah, it's the one where you have to be a certain distance away to lock on, and then when you do fire the missile, it goes up in the air and comes back down in like 10 or 20 seconds later, like a mortar almost. But it does a lot of damage when it hits. The only time I really enjoy using the Joker is on shipment. On shipment, it's actually really fun because you can get like quad feeds all the time with it, because the map is just so small. You spawn in, aim over at their spawn, and shoot a missile real quick, and then like 20 seconds later, you get 4 kills out of nowhere. It's fun to use it in that instance, but besides that, it's useless. And coming in at number 56 spot, however, is going to be going to the Pila. The Pila is this game's dumbfire, but also lock-on launcher. And these are usually my favorites. I love these. The Helion Salvo from Black Ops 4 was great. The XM53 from Black Ops 3 was great. And there's probably a couple others I'm forgetting about. But they're always really fun weapons. I do like these weapons if they can lock on and dumbfire at the same time. Because then it's the best of both worlds, right? You can take out kill streaks, but you can also kill enemies. And that's kind of the whole purpose of launchers. However, with the Pila, it's really slow. It's extremely slow to kill enemies with, and so it's pretty much just a lock-on launcher to take down kill streaks with. which means that 55th place and my favorite of all the launchers in this game is the RPG-7. The RPG-7 I just think is the best overall weapon, or launcher I should say. It's way better at the Strela P for taking down UAVs and stuff like that. That is an absolute certainty. Let me get that very clear. But it's also significantly better than both the Pila and the Strela P at killing enemies as well. And I'm just going to be 100% honest with you guys. I never take down kill streaks unless it's for a challenge and it's to get camos or whatever. That's the only time I've ever taken down kill streaks. And so the only reason why I would ever use launcher is to kill enemies with them. And the RPG-7 is the best one at that in this game, in my opinion. Again, except for if you're on shipment, then the Joker is. Coming in at 54th place, however, is going to the crossbow. Yet again, I think we've had a crossbow in every single one of these games from Black Ops 1 forward. That is immediately wrong, actually, because Modern Warfare 3 did not have one and Ghost did not have one. Okay, so from Advanced Warfare forward, I believe we've had a crossbow in every single one, and they're all pretty much always right at the same spot, because crossbows are obviously not weapons that you're going to go on insane kill streaks with. You're not going to, win the game because you have a teammate on your team using the crossbow. It's just not a useful weapon in that case, but it's obviously a fun weapon. And so for fun, yeah, it is fun. Crossbows are always fun. It's fun to use them. You feel like John Marston. But in terms of actually how good are they, they're pretty bad, obviously. Okay, 53rd place is technically better. Like, you'll get a better KD with this weapon, but it's not nearly as fun as the crossbow. As a matter of fact, it's probably one of the most unenjoyable ways to play Call of Duty in the history of Call of Duty games, the Dragunov. I don't get what is up with Call of Duty's fascination with the Dragunov. I don't understand it. They bring it back in every Call of Duty. The Dragunov is in 7,000 Call of Duties, and there's only 18 of them. There's only 18 Call of Duties, and it's in 7,000 of them. I don't get it. The Dragunov is not fun, COD. Stop putting it in games. It's not a fun gun to use. It's not a good gun to use. It's just bad. It sucks. I hate this thing. Coming in at 52nd place, however, and the final one for the awful tier before we get into the bad tier is going to the VLK Rogue. This thing is a disappointment. I'm just gonna put it out there. This thing, there's no way that this one's parents are proud of it. The VLK Rogue is horrendous. It's like, do you guys know the M26 Mass? It's an underbarrel shotgun that a lot of people use. It's a tiny little like pocket shotgun thing. You can put it as an underbarrel, obviously. It's like that. That's pretty much what you're holding in your hands. And the one thing I will say is it's really fast firing, which is good for a pump action shotgun, obviously. You pump it back really quickly. But it needs that because it has like 4 rounds in the mag at stock. You have to upgrade the mag if you want to have more rounds. It has 4 rounds in the mag at stock, and it does doo-doo water for damage. You would have better luck tickling the guy to death with a feather. All right, but now we are into the bad tier. So weapons of this tier, don't get me wrong, I'm still not using them in Modern Warfare 2019. Modern Warfare 2019 had some really busted guns, but it had some really bad ones. And these are still very bad, but at least they're like somewhat usable. And coming in at 51st place, barely missing out on the top 50. The first one of the bad tier is the M19. It's a single fire pistol that just serves absolutely no purpose. Like, there's no reason to ever use the M19 over any other pistol in this game. And that's the reason why it's here. Is it actually like horrible or anything? No, it's fine. Like, I'm sure you can get away with using it, but why would you? Breaking its way into the top 50, however, is the first of the marksman rifles. Yeah, it's the EBR-14. Actually, technically it's not, because technically the crossbow in this game is a marksman rifle. I don't know why they did that, but either way, it's the EBR-14. I don't think there's ever been an MK-14 or M14 in any Call of Duty that I've ever put pretty high. I just don't like these guns. I've explained it multiple times. It's not my playstyle, man. I don't like DMRs. It's a very like slow play style, and it just doesn't feel satisfying to get kills with these guns. And that's how the EBR-14 feels, in my opinion. It's just not a fun gun to use. I don't really care for them too much. And coming in at the number 49 spot is exactly the same thing. It's the SKS. This is a DLC one though, and it does look cool. I've always liked how SKSs look. They always have looked pretty nice. As a matter of fact, back in Battlefield 4, it was like one of my most used guns in Battlefield 4, the SKS. I loved that gun for some reason. But in this game, it's just another EBR-14 DMR semi-auto style marksman rifle. It's just, again, like, I'm not judging you guys if that's the way that you guys like playing, don't get me wrong. Everybody has their own ways of playing. I'm sure you would hate the way I play. But for me, personally, I just don't enjoy sitting there holding down a lane just to get a kill with an SKS. Like, I'd rather if I'm going to sit there holding down a lane, I'd rather do it with something like an LMG or a sniper. Like, this is just not my style. Coming in at 48th place, it's a little unfortunate that it's this low, but it's not that great. The 1911s. Dude, 1911 is such an iconic gun in COD history. Everybody knows that. Like, the 1911 is such a good weapon, especially Black Ops 1, dude. The freaking 1911 in Black Ops 1. There has never been a Call of Duty gun as satisfying to use as the 1911 in Black Ops 1. It's just, I'm just going to put it out there. It's not possible. I'm going to do a video actually pretty soon, doing of like top 20 or top 10 most satisfying guns to use in Call of Duty history, because there are guns out there that are like, they're not technically great, but they're just so fun to use. Like, in the 1911 is usually one of those. In Modern Warfare 2019, they absolutely missed missed the mark on it. It does not feel fun to use. It just feels like another average semi-auto pistol. Coming in at 47th place, however, is by far the worst SMG in this game. I mean, there's just... Yep, this is just... I don't even... It's the AUG. The AUG has had so many different versions of this gun. It was an LMG, a DMR, an assault rifle, and now it's an SMG, man. And this thing is horrendous for an SMG. It is just like... It's not even like super bad or anything. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's not like it's... You're going to get like a negative KD every time you use the AUG. That's definitely not the case, but it's just so bad when you compare it to every other SMG in the game. There's no reason to use this over any other SMG, and that's the reason why I hate it. Coming in at the number 46 spot is another gun that is just like, again, just not my personal playstyle, but it could be good in somebody else's hands. The FAL, the FAL. Oh, I like that they brought it back. You know, I've always liked the FAL. Even in Black Ops 1, where it was absolute doo-doo water, you would have better luck spraying an enemy to death with bear spray than you would killing them with an FAL in Black Ops 1. Even then, I liked the gun. And then in Black Ops 2, it was awesome as the FAL OSW. Like, see, I like single-fire guns if they're fun to use, and the FAL OSW was a fun single-fire gun to use. But the one in this game is just not fun to use at all, and I don't really understand why you would ever use it compared to any other AR. It's another AUG situation where it's like, it's not bad, but it's by far the worst of the options that you have. Coming in at number 45 spot is another one of the secondaries in this game. It's quite a bit, obviously, of secondaries in this game, but the problem is a lot of them are broken, and so the ones that aren't broken are just bad. It's the X16s. The X16s, I will say, had their moment. They had their time to shine for a little bit there. Right at the launch of the game, these were actually pretty good guns, because you could full auto, you could have a full auto mag, like, mod on them, and then you could dual wield full auto, like, Glocks, and it was actually pretty good to use for a little bit. But then people found the snake shots, and these just went out the window immediately. There was just no point in using the X16 ever after that. And then even later on down the line, when they nerfed the snake shots, and we had the Renetti and the Psykov, which are significantly better than this. Coming in at 44th place is a little bit of a fall from grace. Even the name is disappointing. It's the FR556, 5.56. It's a FAMAS, okay? It's literally like almost a direct remaster of the Modern Warfare 2 FAMAS. It's the same thing. It's a 3-round burst. It doesn't look anything like the Black Ops 1 FAMAS. It looks very similar to the Modern Warfare 2 FAMAS. I love the FAMAS. It's always been a great gun. Even in Modern Warfare 2 when it was a 3-round burst, and I'm not a big fan of 3-round bursts. I loved the FAMAS back then. In this game, nope. Nope. No thanks. It's got the weirdest recoil pattern of all time, first of all, and second of all, it is not one burst, which is not good enough in Modern Warfare 2019. It's just not good enough. Not good enough. 43rd place, I guarantee you are lying to yourself, you are lying to me, and you are lying to your mother if you tell me that you did not, that you remembered this gun. No one remembers that this gun existed. It's called the SA-87. It's pretty much this game's L86 LSW. Those are super iconic guns. I love those guns. In this game, good golly, you could not have, there was a 0% chance I was remembering that this gun was a thing. The one part I will say that's cool, and it's just a cool part about Modern Warfare 2019 in general, actually, is you pretty much, with modifications, like with the gunsmith, you can change this thing from an LMG into like an assault rifle almost, which is cool, and it's fun to use it in that sense, but overall, like, you have to put a bunch of work in just to get it to that point. All right, coming in at 42nd place, however, and the final one for the bad tier, before we get into the average tier, is the PKM. It's the PKP Petroneg. I like the PKP Petroneg. There's always like, every COD game has that one LMG where it's just like, it is so unbelievably massive for absolutely no reason. Like Ninja's low taper fade. It is so massive. And that's the PKM in this game. It is humongous. You holding it in your hands, what looks like a freaking mounted MG from a helicopter. Like, and that's cool. And it has its purpose for sure for people that like to camp. But overall, it's not my personal playstyle, and I've never really cared for guns like this. All right, but now we are into the average tier. So guns in this tier, they're average in Modern Warfare 2019, but overall, for like the grand scheme of Call of Duty games, I would say they're slightly below average. That's what I would say. And 44th place, barely missing out on the top 40, is the JAK-12. It's the USAS-12. It's a semi-auto shotgun that can do a lot of damage, but the problem is it never can one-shot. It will literally like never one-shot. It will just constantly be back and forth, just it's not good enough is what I'm trying to say, especially in this game where there is a broken couple of shotguns. And when I say broken, I mean so broken to the point that they should be in a wheelchair. They are really busted, and the JAK-12 is not even close. Breaking its way into the top 40, however, is going to the .50 GS, or what we know it as, the Desert Eagle. I don't know why this game did that. Every gun in this game is like a weird name, and then there are some where it's like they're just a normal name. Like the next one after this, as a matter of fact, well, remember that I said that, because the next one after this has like the normal name. I get that it's probably licensing issues, but like, why? You guys were doing fine calling it the Desert Eagle for years, and then you changed it to the .50 GS. Either way, for a Desert Eagle, it's not bad. There have been really bad versions of the Desert Eagle in the COD's history, and this is definitely not one of them. You can get one-shots with it, especially if you hit them in the head, and that's cool, and it's still fun, just as fun to use as it is as other Desert Eagles, but again, it's another one of those weapons where it's like, are you really going to use this over the Renettis? No. Coming in at 39th place is going to the Uzi. Remember what I just said, man, with the .50 GS. This is like what the gun's called. It's called the Uzi. So why are you allowed to use the name for the Uzi, but not for the Desert Eagle? Like, I don't get that, COD. What's going on? Either way, the Uzi is one of those guns where it's like, it's made an appearance in a lot of CODs, and it's never been good. Like the Dragunov, actually. But the difference between the Dragunov and the Uzi is everybody actually likes the Uzi. The Uzi, even though it's never been a good gun, like there's literally never been a time in COD history where the Uzi's been a fun weapon to use, except for like Mob of the Dead and Black Ops 2. That's the only time that the Uzi's been fun. But even though it's not great, we all still love it because it's the Uzi. It's iconic. It's gonna be a fun gun, but it's not good. Coming in at the number 38 spot, however, is this game's Man-O-War, this game's AS-44 from World War II, this game's slow-firing but heavy-hitting assault rifle, the Odin. I know that there's going to be a lot of Warzone fans, excuse me, there's going to be a lot of Warzone fans in my comments right now threatening to blow up my house. For those people, first of all, please don't do that. I would just greatly appreciate it if you didn't. And second, I don't play Warzone. I know the Odin was broken in Warzone. I know it was good, but in multiplayer it wasn't. You have to be fast in multiplayer, and you can't be that fast with the Odin, and it's really unfortunate. I will say, however, if you're playing just like regular team deathmatch in Modern Warfare 2019, it goes so unbelievably slow and everybody just camps that the Odin can kind of get away with it. But if you're playing like Shoe House 24/7, Shipment 24/7, yeah, the Odin's not working. Coming in at 37th place, however, is another LMG, actually, the M91. Dude, LMGs are like, okay, I hate DMRs. I don't like using them, but at least I remember them because of how much I hate them. When it comes to LMGs, I always just completely forget that they even exist. Every one of them. The M91 is one of those guns that I did not remember existed at all until I went to go make this video. I've loaded up my Modern Warfare 2019 to look at all the guns and list them all down, and this was there, and I was just like, whoa, where'd you come from, partner? And he's like, I've been here the whole time. The M91 is just so forgettable, and it's just so average. And this game does have some actually pretty good LMGs too, and the M91 was just not one of them. Coming in at 36th place, this is what I mean, COD. It's the AK-47. How can you still use the name AK-47 but can't use the name Desert Eagle? I don't understand. Like, I'm so confused. Either way, it's fine. It's one of the worst AKs in COD histories, if I'm being 100% honest. AKs are almost always broken in Call of Duty. Like, literally every instance of the AK has been a pretty, not really broken, but good. This one is just not that. It's just not great, especially in a game like Modern Warfare 2019 where the competition was strong. Coming in at 35th place, however, is never had his moments to shine. Never had his moment to shine. Let's just leave it at that. The Rytec AMR, or what we know it as, the Barrett 50 cal. Why are you calling it this? Either way, the Rytec AMR. At one point, people were liking this gun because it could shoot explosive rounds. And when you could do that, people liked it. But it wasn't good. Like, I don't know. People were like falling in love with the Rytec AMR with explosive rounds. And they were like, oh my God, it's so busted. And then I was using it. I was like, no, it's not. I'd rather use the Rytec AMR actually without the explosive rounds than with them. But either way, it was unique, and it had a bunch of cool things about it. It hit like a truck, obviously. It was a semi-auto, but it was way too slow. It was just way too slow for a sniper. And I love snipers, man. Don't get me wrong. But we'll see that later on in the list, and I'll explain to you guys there. But this is just not one of them. Coming in at 34th place, it's another one of those guns where it's not bad or anything. This is the reason why it's in the average tier, you know? It's just average. The PP-19 Bison. It's fine. For an SMG, it's fine. Are you going to be excited to use it? I was a little bit, just because the Bison's such a cool looking gun, so I was like a little bit excited to use it in that sense, but overall it's not good enough compared to the other SMGs in this game, and it's also really, it's surprising because it's one of those guns where it's actually quite forgettable, and the Bison is never forgettable in my opinion. It's always a very memorable gun because it's so unique, but in this game it's pretty forgettable. Coming in at 33rd place, however, is going to a gun that had a pretty big fall from grace, if I'm being honest. But don't worry, it got its gets back with the TAC 56, that's for sure. The FN Scar 17. The FN Scar is, again, first of all, that's like the actual name brand of this gun. So I don't understand how you're allowed to use the Scar's name but not the Desert Eagle's. God, every time I think of the Scar, I think of the Desert Eagle. Maybe it's because I play Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege and Blackbeard exists, but that's just like what I think of. They're like the same gun. It's like the perfect loadout. A Scar with a Desert Eagle secondary, like that's the loadout. And you can't use the Desert Eagle name. Either way, the Scar in this game was just, again, it just wasn't strong enough to compete with the problem with a lot of the quote bad ARs in this game were they were too slow, and that was what the problem with the Scar. Coming in at 32nd, however, is this game's pump action, basic boy, cowboy shotgun, the Model 680. Every COD has one, and every single time, they're pretty much right around this part, unless they're absolutely broken, but most of the time, they're not absolutely broken, and this is one where it's fine. These are the type of shotguns that I like. You know, they're not stupid, they're not annoying to go against. Can they be strong in the right hands? Absolutely. Do not underestimate somebody with a Model 680 in their hands. He can floor you. Like, this is a good gun, don't get me wrong, but it's never broken or anything like that, and I respect that. I love guns like these. They're fun to use little guns. Coming in at 31st place, barely missing out on the top 30, is going to the Finn LMG. I do actually remember this gun, even though it's an LMG and it's pretty average for an LMG. But I do remember it because of one thing and one thing only. You could turn it into the chainsaw from Ghosts. You know that you guys remember the chainsaw? Yeah, you held it and like when you aim down sights, all it did was shrink in the hip fire range. That's what you could do with the Finn LMG, which was pretty cool. You could also do it with the Hades and Black Ops 4. I like that. You know, I respect that. But the Finn LMG, it was never good enough. It was just way too bulky. It also looks horrible, if I'm being honest, man. This thing does not look good. Alrighty, lads, but breaking its way into the top 30, and the final one for the average tier before we get into the good tier, is the MG34. Another LMG, this time base game though, and it's kind of weird, if I'm being 100% honest, for the fact that it's in Modern Warfare 2019, because this is not a modern gun at all. It's a World War II setting gun, but this game had a couple guns like that, like the Car 98K, which is like a World War II setting weapon, and it's in Modern Warfare 2019. I don't really know why they did that, but it's fine to me because I do think like modern warfare games bringing back World War II guns is fine. The problem is when you start to do things like Call of Duty Vanguard bringing in the BP-50. That makes no sense. that's where the problem comes into that's where the problem comes into play. The MG34 was, again, just a fine LMG. All right, but now we're into the good tier. So the guns in this tier are pretty good. The vast majority of guns in this tier, from being honest, are more just fun to use rather than actually like good. And the problem with a lot of these is that they have better counterparts, and so that's kind of the problem with them. 29th place is going to the HDR. This is the base game, slow firing, bolt action, huge sniper rifle. Every COD game has them. Every COD game has one sniper that's super fast, but it gets a couple hit markers here and there. And then it has one that's super slow, but it rarely gets hit markers. This is a super slow one that rarely gets hit markers, and 9 times out of 10, these ones are the worst ones. I mean, think about it in COD history. Black Ops 2 had the DSR-50 and the Ballista. The Ballista was obviously the better gun. COD Ghost had the USR and the L115. The USR was the better gun. Black Ops 3 had the Locust and the SVG-100. The Locust was the better gun. Like, usually the faster ones are better because you're going to be aiming up towards the top of them anyways, and that's the case with the HDR. Super cool gun though, and I'm happy they brought it back on Black Ops 6. Coming in at 28th place, oh my great golly, great googly moogly, this gun had its run, and it was a painful run while it lasted. The 357, it's the Magnum. And listen, even without the modification that we're all thinking of, this was a pretty good revolver. Like, it was a 1-shot to the head revolver, 2-shot to the body, and you could shoot it pretty fast revolver, even without snake shots. But then when you brought snake shots into the situation, into the equation, whatever the word is I'm looking for there, it became so painful to play against. However, I will say, oh my god, it was fun to play with. It was a double-edged sword. It was yin and yang. I hated anybody that used the 357s, but you'll be darn tootin' if I ain't gonna use them. They were fun to use. 27th place, I realized before right after I clicked the stop recording on that one, that I forgot to explain why it's not that high, even though I said it was absolutely broken. It's been nerfed into the ground at this point. The snake shots are nowhere near as powerful as they were before. That's why it's only here at 28th. If it was back at like launch, yeah, the 357s would probably be like first place. Either way, 27th place is a Striker 45. It's a really okay SMG. Like, it's the definition of okay. It gets a lot of hit markers, if I'm being honest, but it does have a pretty fast fire rate, so it's just okay, man. It reminds me a lot of the UMP-45, which is clearly what it's supposed to be based off of. It doesn't not capture the beauty of the UMP-45 though. Coming in at 26th place, however, is this game's MTAR, this game's bullpup style gun. I always like these. They always look pretty cool. It's the Ram 7. I like the Ram 7, man. It was fun to use. It was a really well-rounded, just overall fine assault rifle. The unfortunate part about the Ram 7 is it never really had its personal time to shine. Like, it was never broken or anything like that, but it was always just a fine gun that people were using. It was always like that gun. Even in Warzone, I remember people being like, yeah, it was kind of just like a second option, you know? Everybody was using the Grau or the AMAX, and the Ram 7 was just kind of like right there. Like, it was close, but it wasn't good enough. Coming in at the number 25 spot is going to the Origin 12 shotgun. It says the word shotgun in the name in game for some reason, so I put it here anyways, just so people don't get confused, I guess, with the Origin 12 SMG. I don't know why they specified that it's a shotgun. They did it for another gun too. I think it's the R90, if I remember correct. If I'm remembering, yeah, the R90. The R90 also has shotgun after it for some reason in game. Either way, the Origin 12 is this game's full auto Brecci style, but it's nowhere near as powerful as the Brecci was shotgun. It's good on. It's obviously broken on like shipment, but most of the other game modes, the Origin 12 is just not good enough. It's really slow too for shotgun, which is good. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining about that. I would rather a full auto shotgun be bad than be good, but it was just not good enough. It was still fine though. Coming in at 24th place, this is a perfect part to mention this actually, is going to the Mark II carbine, or MK2 carbine. This is one of the more fun guns in Call of Duty history. Another one where I think if I make a video of the top 20 most satisfying guns to use, this is definitely going to be in it. You just feel it's so satisfying to use this gun. It is probably one of the easiest snipers in COD history to use. It is technically a DMR though, by the way, but it's like a lever action, you know, old Western style Winchester rifle thing. It gets a really crazy amount of hit markers, but it cocks back immediately almost. It pretty much isn't bolt action. It's almost semi-auto in with how fast you can shoot it. And so you can almost always follow it up with a second shot. And when you do get those one shots, God, is it satisfying. It's a really satisfying gun to use. But the reason why I said this is the time to mention this is because this is the time to mention where this is why I rank it based off personal preference, because obviously sniper rifles in Call of Duty in general, you're probably going, the vast majority of us, 99% of us, myself included, do not get me wrong, I'm not saying I'm good, 99% of us are going to get a horrible KD with bolt action snipers, but it's obviously one of the most fun ways to play. And so that's why I rank it off personal preference, because realistically, the Mark II carbine, HDR, Rytech AMR, and spoiler alert, but the other snipers that are yet to come don't belong where they are. They belong probably towards the bottom of the list, because KD wise and like winning games wise, the vast majority of us are not going to do good with these. But they're so much fun, and this is a perfect one to interpret that, because the Mark II carbine is extremely fun to use. All right, coming in at 23rd place, however, now that little rant's over, sorry, but I just wanted to make that very clear. I say it in every single one of these videos so far, because the snipers get really, really high, and then I know somebody's gonna be in the comments and be like, I guarantee your KD with that sniper's horrible. It is. I have like a 0.3 KD with the DSR 50 in Black Ops 2. Like, I'm bad at sniping, don't get me wrong, but I freaking love it. It's so much fun, and so that's why I put him where I put him. Either way, 23rd place is the Fennec. It's this game's Vector. The Vector's always been one of those guns where it's never been stupidly overpowered. Another type of gun, though, where I will say the Fennec is actually pretty good on shipment. Actually, it's one of the better guns on shipment, but for the rest of the game, it's fine. Even on shoot house, it's not that great. Okay, coming in at number 22 spot, 22nd location, is going to the AN94. The AN94 has been brought back multiple times, and it has never once been as good as the Black Ops 2 variant. The Black Ops 2 AN94 will go down in history as the best AN94, and I'll die on a hill with that. Also, this is the first COD game, I just realized this. This is the first COD game where the AN94 was remastered that wasn't a Treyarch game. Every other one was a Treyarch game, and that's why they brought the AN94 back, because it was a Black Ops 2 gun. But this one wasn't. Also, that also happened earlier with another gun, didn't it? Wait, which gun was that? Hold on. Hold your horses, ladies and gentlemen. There's another gun here that they remastered that wasn't a Modern Warfare gun. Can't think of it right now, but yeah, it was there for sure. Either way, it's fine. Coming in at the number 21 spot, barely missing out on the top 20, however, is going to be going to the M13. There was a cult community behind the M13, bro. Back in Modern Warfare 2019's like early days, dude, people were saying that this was like the best AR in the game. I never thought so. It kind of has the same problem with like the Ram 7, in my opinion, where it's like, it was a good gun, but it's just like the M4 does everything better than the M13. Also, I can't be the only one that thinks this. I don't want to insult anybody here. I don't want to make anybody mad. I can't be the only one that thinks this, though. The M13 was one of like the most boring looking assault rifles in COD history. I do not like how this thing looks at all. I'm sorry. Alrighty, lads, but breaking its way into the top 20, however, is going to be going to the Holger 26. I bet you guys forgot this gun existed. I bet you did. Want to know why you forgot it existed? Because it's an LMG. I'm telling you guys, every time that LMGs are in COD history, they're just so forgettable. They're fine. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying I'm forgetting them because I hate them. I'm forgetting them just because I never really use them. The Holger 26 is one of those cases. It's like a G36 LMG variant. However, with the gunsmith, you can turn it into a G36C assault rifle style, carbine style rifle, which is actually really cool. And it actually was a very, very strong LMG. So it's good and I love it, but just completely forgot about it until I clicked on the game. Coming in at 19th place, however, this gun also was another gun where it kind of had it had its moment. People were loving this gun for a little while. Then R90 shotgun. This is the other one I remember I was talking about earlier with the Origin 12, where for some reason it says shotgun in the name in the game next to the name of the gun. This is the other one. The R90, for those who don't know, was like this weird like it was like a double barrel shotgun. So you would run up to them and you would shoot 2 shots and then it would pump back. And then it would like rechamber itself, you know what I mean? And it was really weird how it worked, but it was pretty strong because if it wasn't a one shot with the first shot, which it usually was, then you immediately had almost like a semi-auto shotgun to follow up with the second shot, and it would almost always kill them at that point. If it didn't, then you were kind of in trouble. And so it was fine. Coming in at 18th place is this one never got its, like, again, and this one is underrated Modern Warfare 2019 gun in my opinion. The P90, dude, the P90 in this game was good. I loved using the P90. Also, this is the last one for the good tier, by the way, before we move into the amazing tier. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, the P90 was just a good gun overall. I loved using the P90 in this game. It felt like, it reminded me so much of like the Modern Warfare 3 P90. Like, it brought back the beauty of those old P90s finally, and it was so much fun to use. I loved it. I've always loved the P90 too. It just looks cool. Everything about the P90 is a great gun. And I liked it in this game, but nobody ever really used it. But now we are into the amazing tier. So guns in this tier were pretty much meta, or at least at one point were meta, and nowadays you can still get away with using them, but they're not going to be like the best, obviously. 17th place is the Renetti. The Renetti is this game's M93 Rafficas, this game's RK5s, this game's B23Rs, this game's PDWs. It's the 3-round burst secondary pistol, but oh my god, is it broken in this game. It was super strong, especially since you could add like a 50-round mag onto it, so you could just like never stop. You could use it as a primary pretty much, and it was super good until they added another one. Coming in at 16th place is going to be going to the RAL-MG, RAAL-MG. It's another LMG that I feel like most people probably are forgetting about, but not me, actually. This is one of the LMGs I definitely remembered because it was a heavy hitter. Now, it's definitely big. It's just like the PKM we were talking about earlier and the Finn LMG. It's a big LMG. It's a heavy LMG. You're not going to be running around getting like crazy, slide cancel kills with the RAL. But if you are the type of player that likes playing with LMGs, the RAL was definitely one of the strongest. From like the largest gun in COD history to like the smallest gun in COD history, coming in at the number 15 spot is the ISO. The ISO, oh, wow. The ISO, man. There comes a point, listen, I love SMGs in COD history. I love using them. One of my favorite classes to use because they're just so much fun, and I like playing that playstyle. Really, really fast-paced, sliding around corners and killing enemies like that. Like, I like that. That's what I like doing. That's why I like using snipers. It's very fast-paced, which is odd to say, I know, but that's how COD is. And the ISO was one of the ones that I never actually really got behind. Everybody else loved it, and everybody else said it was great, and that's why I'm putting it here at number 15. But it was almost like too movement oriented, if that makes any sense. It's like, in order for this gun to be as good as people were making it seem to be, you had to be a movement demon, and then it was good. Coming in at 14th place, however, was just good old reliable Kilo 141. Super happy they brought this back, actually. That's the one thing I will say with Black Ops 6 so far, that they're doing pretty good with their DLC weapons. I'm liking the DLC weapons Black Ops 6 has been bringing into the games. Like the Kilo, good gun, cool gun to use. And in this game, it was your starting assault rifle, and it was, again, just as good. After I like do these videos, I have a bunch of different ideas to do, and one of them is definitely going to be ranking all starting assault rifles in every Call of Duty from worst to best, because a lot of them are always right here in the amazing tier. Like, they're always really good starting guns. They're just really well rounded. Do they excel in any one thing? No, the Kilo does not excel in any one thing, but it's good at all of them. Coming in at 13th place, and it actually pains me a little bit to put it this low, because oh my god, I used to be a demon on this thing. It used to be my freaking bread and butter. The Kar 98K. The Kar 98K, for those who don't know, is a DMR in this game, a marksman rifle. However, it might as well be a sniper rifle. It's bolt action. It most of the time will get a one shot. You can get some hit markers with it for sure. You can put a scope on it, and literally just, it's at that point, it's quite literally just a sniper rifle. And it was so much fun. It was one of the fastest snipers in this game to use, besides like the Mark II carbine, but the Mark II carbine got too many hit markers, so people were using the Kar 98K instead. But then unfortunately, they added something else into the game that just kind of made this gun obsolete. Coming in at 12th place, if we were talking about these guns pre-patch or when they first came out, this gun would obviously be first place, because holy crap, I can't be the only one that remembers the prime of this gun. The AS Val. The AS Val nowadays is just a fine assault rifle. It's almost like an assault rifle SMG hybrid. It's like really fast, obviously. It reminds me a lot of the Honey Badger. Like, even with the integrated suppressor and everything about that, like, it's very similar to that gun. But when it was launched, this gun could shoot through 17 layers of buildings and still like do perfect damage to them. You could be actually bunkered up in Fort Knox, and this guy could be sitting on like the Himalayas with an AS Val and shoot one shot and you would die. It was really crazy overpowered. Luckily, they nerfed it pretty fast though. Coming in at the number 11 spot, barely missing out on the old top 10, is going to, in my opinion, the best LMG in this game. LMGs weren't definitely the best class in this game, but they were fine, especially in Warzone, actually. I heard a lot of good things about this LMG in Warzone. It's the Bruin MK9. The Bruin MK9 was great in multiplayer. It was a very, very strong LMG because it did the best of both worlds. It had the heavy hitting, low recoil of the big, heavy LMGs, but the fast fire rate and fast movement of the low, lighter weight LMGs. And that's why the Bruin MK9 just ended up just working out really, really well, and people loved it. Again, another gun where in Warzone, it was great. Breaking its way, however, into the top 10 is a secondary. That's how broken this thing is. A lot of you guys might not even know that this thing is as broken as it is, by the way, because it was added very late into Modern Warfare 2019's life cycle, but it's the Sykov pistol. Dude, it's pretty much like the, what's it called from Black Ops 1? The Makarov pistol or whatever it's called. It's very similar to that pistol in terms of design, but it couldn't be further from it. It's a super fast firing, and you can literally turn it full auto, by the way. 50 round mag capable pistol with like almost no recoil. The Sykov is broken. It is still broken to this day in Modern Warfare 2019. It's so good. And there's really no point in using any other pistol in this game, honestly. The Sykov will just do every one of their jobs, but better. However, coming in at the number 9 spot and the final one for the amazing tier before we move on into the best tier is the CR56 AMAX. Another gun that they actually brought back into Black Ops 6, and I'm pretty happy with them bringing it back yet again. The AMAX was a super iconic gun. It reminds me a lot of the ACR style weapons from Battlefield games, the Battlefield 4 in particular, like the ACR or AC, they call them ACEs in that game, but same thing. It reminds me a lot of those guns, and it's just so much fun to use. Really good iron sights, really good looking gun, really strong, really no recoil pretty much. It's fast enough for an AR. It's great all around. It's just a really, really good assault rifle. I like it a lot. But now we are into the best tier. So the guns in this tier are meta, still to this day, and at one point they were probably stupidly broken. They nerfed them probably a little bit, but never nerfed them enough to make them actually bad. In 8th place is going to the MP7. This was one of my personal faves to use for Search and Destroy. My class for Search and Destroy was so toxic, but it was so much fun. It was an MP7 with a 7.25 backup, and it was just like I would just run around corners and just pop people. The MP7, first of all, iron sights, not as good as like Modern Warfare 3 iron sights, but it's still so good. The movement, damage, pretty much no recoil, even if you had like no stock on it. It was great. The MP7 was absolutely amazing. Spoiler alert, by the way, the vast majority of weapons in the best tier are SMGs and ARs, because this game, SMGs and ARs it was one of those games where like, dude, they're broken. The ARs and SMGs are broken. Like, unfortunately, the LMGs, DMRs, snipers, they really didn't stand too much of a chance. So the majority of these guns in the best tier are, spoiler alert, SMGs and ARs. Like the number 7 spot, as a matter of fact, the CX9, another SMG, obviously. And it is, yeah, I mean, it's just goodness gracious, man. I mean, it's just, wow. It was great. It was also really good in Modern Warfare 3 too. They brought it back in Modern Warfare 3, and it was broken in that game as well, by the way. But this is another one of those ones where it's like a lot of people probably don't know it because it was, again, really added really late into the life cycle of Modern Warfare 2019. As a matter of fact, I think it was added right at the same time as the Sykov, if I'm not mistaken. And so a lot of people probably don't even know that this gun exists. But yeah, it's pretty broken. And because of the fact that it was added so late too, they never really went back and nerfed it. And so it's still pretty broken. Coming in at 6th place, however, and a lot of you guys might be a little bit upset that this one isn't the first place spot for the sniper rifles, because for people who know, they know that there's another sniper rifle that's still yet to come. But it's the SPR 208. This is another this is what I was talking about earlier with the Kar 98K, where I was saying that the Kar 98K was like the fast marksman rifle, but it got a couple hit markers sometimes. So if you wanted a really reliable gun, you wouldn't use it, you'd use the other one. But for the most part, people were using the Kar 98K for getting all their quick scoping clips or whatever, until they added another gun. And this is that gun. The SPR just took the limelight, or the spotlight, I should say limelight. I don't know why I said that. The spotlight from the Kar 98K almost immediately. It was just broken compared to the Kar 98K. There was just no real reason to use it. It was just so much better than it, and that's unfortunate a little bit. Coming in at 5th place, however, and you guys might be a little bit upset that this isn't like first, if I'm being honest. A lot of people loved this gun, but again, reminder that I'm mainly ranking them based on multiplayer. I didn't play a lot of Warzone, so I don't really get to see it that much in Warzone. It's the Grau 5.56. The Grau was broken in multiplayer, don't get me wrong. Like, it was great, and it still is great. Go back and use the Grau, you're still gonna have a great time using it. The iron sights are beautiful, by the way. But where the Grau really got its like fame from, and where everybody really talked about it from, was because everybody was playing Warzone at the time, and it was broken in Warzone. So I've heard, and so that's why the Grau is as famous as it is. I don't think it's the best gun in the game though for multiplayer, because as a matter of fact, I think 4th place is even better than it, and it's also in another assault rifle, the M4A1. Yeah, this is a launch assault rifle, by the way. The M4A1 has never been one of those guns that have been absolutely broken. Every time Call of Duty put an M4A1 in their games, it's always just been fine. And it's always been a good alternative to like the best gun in the game, especially if you can't handle recoil. The M4A1 usually is a recoil-less gun. It's usually pretty good, but never broken. In this game, it was unbelievably broken, but that's a good thing because like everybody could just use this, and a lot of people were getting away with it. It was I'm gonna be honest, it was a little bit of a noob gun, you know. Noobs were using it because they had no recoil and it was super easy to control and looked good, and you could unlock it super fast. But that's a good thing. It got players into the game with a weapon that was super strong from the start, and it was never so broken to the point where I thought it should have been nerfed. Let's just leave it at that. Okay, third place, however, it couldn't be further from the truth when it comes to third place. Third place, yeah, it was so broken to the point where it did be nerfed, and it's still broken. The 7.25. What a stark contrast to what this gun was based off of. This gun is clearly based off of the Olympia and Black Ops 1, which, for those who don't know, is horrendous. It is one of the worst shotguns in Call of Duty history. The Olympia and Black Ops 1 is unbelievably bad. I would literally rather try killing somebody with like a toothpick. No, you know what? That's too much damage. A piece of hay. I would actually rather like just tickle them to death with a piece of hay over use the Olympia on Black Ops 1. The 7.25? Oh my god, is it broken? It was, I will say, super fun to use though, and that's why it's here at my third spot. Even though it was broken, I can't lie, using it myself, you just felt like you were this like absolute beast with this thing in your hands. Like, it took no skill, but for some reason it felt like it did because it only had the 2 shots, you know? So it felt like you were like smarter than the other players, even though realistically it was just because you were just running around a corner with a shotgun that had infinite range and would one shot at any range and was super fast to handle. But coming in at second place, however, in my opinion, the second best gun in all of Modern Warfare 2019. Now, I might get hate for saying this because, again, the whole sniper thing being, you know, well, snipers are pretty hard to use, and so you're probably going to get a worse KD with a sniper rifle in your hands than you will with a, you know, SMG in your hands. And that is true, but it's the AX-50. Oh my god, the AX-50, man. In my opinion, the AX-50 is one of the most, like, iconic snipers in COD history now. I would put it up there, like, in the top 5 for sure. Like, the only ones that I think are more iconic than the AX-50, MSR for sure, Intervention for sure, Ballista for sure, and then probably the Locust. And then besides that, the AX-50 is right there, man. It's so much fun to use. It is so incredible. It's so good. Like, it barely gets hit markers, and it's so much faster than the HDR, and that wonderful noise of, it's like, it feels like you're just shooting them, and it just feels like you're doing so freaking good. And yeah, I know, like, technically speaking, is my KD with the AX-50 going to be better than my KD with even, like, the AUG, you know? Probably not. I'll probably have a better KD with the AUG than I would with the AX-50, for sure. But it's the fun aspect of it. The AX-50 is so much fun and so satisfying to use. However, coming in at first place, the best gun in all of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 is the MP5. Yeah, a surprise to no one, man. It's that broken. It is that broken. Again, Warzone kids might be scratching their heads a little bit. I don't know how good it was in Warzone. I'm assuming it wasn't that great because I never really heard anything about it from the Warzone community. So I'm assuming it never was like incredible or anything. In multiplayer though, oh my god. Oh my god, the MP5 was good. And it was a fun good too. Like, it was a satisfying good. It is still to this day good, and they've nerfed it 100 times at this point. They have nerfed this thing so many freaking times, and it doesn't matter. It's still broken. It is so much fun to use. It is by far the best iteration of the MP5 we've ever gotten. One of the best SMGs in Call of Duty history, period. It is great. And on top of all that, it's not a DLC weapon. You can get this like right at the start of the game, so almost anybody could use it, which is great. I love that. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video ranking all 59 Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 guns from worst to best. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what other videos you'd like to see in the comment section down below after this series is over. And check the links in the description for all my social medias or any other YouTube channels if you guys want to go check those out. By all means, please go ahead and do that. You don't have to. I'm not like forcing you to, but if you like to, go right ahead and give your boy some love. But either way, I guess I will explain to you guys now why I missed 4 days. For those who don't know, I like cars, and my friend has a shop. Okay, my friend, he just recently purchased a new shop to work on his cars in, and so he asked me to come down and just check it out. And so I went down there to check it out, checked out all his cars and everything, and I was just hanging out with him for a little while yesterday. But then I was like, okay, I'm probably gonna go home now to do all my YouTube stuff, you know, and start making my YouTube videos and get ready because I upload around 9 to 10 p.m. because, you know, for those who don't know, I have other YouTube channels, and I know how the algorithm works now. I know that you have to upload at a certain time consistently in order to get like more people engaged in your videos and stuff. I understand that's how YouTube works. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go home. But then he asked for my help, like helping him build this like little office thing, and I was like, absolutely, yeah, because it actually kind of looked fun. And so I did. I started, you know, trying to help him out with the office, and got distracted was there until like 8:30 p.m. and then I left and was like, oh my god, I don't have any, not even close to enough time to film a video in time, unless I want to upload it at like 2 a.m., which obviously I didn't want to do that. And so I was like, crap, I guess we're gonna have to miss another freaking day. And so I'm really sorry, but again, I'm trying to lock in, man. I do this all the time. I'm always like, okay, it's time to lock in now though, and then like 2 days from now I'll be like, oh crap, I got something to do instead. I can't upload tonight. It's gonna be so annoying, but I promise this time I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to lock in, trying to freaking, I'm gonna try to upload every other day. I'm sorry for missing some uploads, guys, but from here on out, we're doing it. Next video is obviously gonna be on Black Ops Cold War. I've actually been playing Cold War a little bit recently, but do you want to know what surprisingly the game that I've been playing the most recently is? I've literally went from like level 1 to prestige in like a week on this game. World War II. I've been playing World War II like crazy. It's just like so much fun, and they have shipment 24/7, double XP, double weapon XP, double division XP, and they have a ton of DLC guns to work towards. I've explained it before on my channel multiple times, but I really like when playing a Call of Duty when you have something to work towards in it. That's why I like mastery camos and prestiges and stuff like that. That's what like my favorite parts of COD is. You have like a grind to do, and whenever you have a grind to do, it's fun, which is kind of the reason why sometimes I get bored of playing the old CODs, because you really don't have anything to work towards in those CODs. And so it's just like, I don't know. It's just I've been playing my World War II like crazy recently, and it's been a lot of fun. Also, guys, a video that I'm gonna do in a couple days here is going over all my Xbox accounts, because I realize I keep saying in all these videos like, oh, well, I've been grinding away on these CODs on my Xbox accounts because they're all level 1 since I had to restart when I got a PlayStation. I'm gonna make a video going over every single one of those accounts and like where they're at and all like their KDs and their levels and everything, just so that you guys can like see, because I want to start doing more live videos and like kind of like almost like vlogs every other day, and just like updating you guys on how my accounts are going and stuff like that. I don't want to like stream all the time like whenever I'm playing, because I'm gonna be honest, I used Call of Duty to like relax, you know, and so I don't want to like, I don't know, I don't want to have to like be working while playing the game. I just want to be able to play the game and enjoy myself. But yeah, that I think we're gonna do more live videos. Maybe we'll like do videos like using every gun in COD history, you know, and we'll do like one video per every other day and just try and use every single gun and see how it goes. I think that would be a great idea. But anyway, let me know if you guys think it's a good idea or not. Next video is on Black Ops Cold War. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. However, if you did, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. Das Vidania, and have a nice night.